They came from all over.
I thought this was my chance to see the world.
So many from small towns.
Muscuda.
Winona, Minnesota was Dottie's
I
hometown.
really didn't think that much about some war going on in some little country on the other side of the world at that time.
So many going from homecoming courts to combat fields.
All the medical staff in the evac hospitals, they worked till they fell over.
From school tests to battle tested.
We hang IVs on nails on the wall. Lizards and rats run around the walls and floors at night.
They dealt with soldiers their own age who often did not survive that initial triage. And to have to do that every single day.
They're the backbone of the medical operation.
Yet more than 50 years later, so many are still unrecognized.
What we saw there was a nightmare, and it also went unmentioned.
I hate the sound of helicopters today.
They saved soldiers in Vietnam, children in Vietnam, and returned home to hate.
The professor told Dottie that she was a baby killer and she should burn her uniform.
They lived real-time, real-life lessons in duty and the solace of service as soldiers.
I wanted to be part of the action, but above all, I really wanted to serve.
These are the testimonies of and the testaments to the women who served in Vietnam. More than 11,000 American women served in the Vietnam War. 90% of them served as volunteer nurses. I'm Donna Pittman. This KMBC9 Chronicle shares the stories of some of the women who chose to serve. Like so many Vietnam veterans, they have not shared their experiences. They've stayed mainly silent until now.
There's plates over here, so come grab one.
This home in Lee Summit, Missouri,
We're having the mojito. It's delicious. Do you want to try it?
Ocho mojito?
has been transformed into the 114th EVAC hospital.
Oh boy.
The women inside transformed by a book which inspired the Jell-O-molded, patriotic, processed,
Twinkies are referenced many times in the book.
and Ho Chi Minh Hitoed menu. Throwbacks to American life in the 1960s.
I don't know about you all, but I finished this book in like 2 days. It was so good.
The book, titled The Women by Kristen Hanna,
I didn't know much at all.
is historical fiction about women serving in the Vietnam War.
And what I tried to do on the map over here is map out where all the places that Frankie was.
It's fiction fostering curiosity about what really happened.
I would like to see a nurse's perspective.
And the real places, real women
To feel so unseen.
made a real impact.
That whole storyline, that would wreck anybody.
It is my great honor to introduce a real American hero, Lou Eisenbrandt.
It's a story Lou Eisenbrandt knows all too well.
I am just blown away to see this many people here. I mean, it looks like Easter Sunday morning.
This isn't so much sermon as much as service for Lou.
Thank you to my fellow veterans.
She joined the Army in 1968 at age 21 and wrote a book about her time as a Vietnam nurse.
I got a manila envelope, said, "Congratulations, you're going to Vietnam." I didn't think that needed celebrating, but.
Living in Leawood, Kansas today, Lou was raised in small-town Illinois.
I thought this was my chance to see the world. I mean, I did not join the Army to save lives.
Lou's fate would take her to the 91st EVAC hospital.
I took a picture out of the plane window of the Mekong River. The plane gets very quiet, because there were 200 plus guys. There were 13 women on the plane and the rest were all men. And, reality, I think that's when reality sets in.
Lou was boots on the ground in Vietnam in war.
This is where my room was, on the back side of this building.
Okay.
That's the officers' club, the mess hall.
Her job, care for American GIs.
That's the ER.
As well as injure Vietnamese soldiers and civilians.
Nurses take an oath, much like doctors take the Hippocratic Oath, which is, I will treat everyone.
A young woman putting men back together.
You try to take into consideration what the result is going to be. What is this person going to be like? We saved triple amputees. And you know, in your mind you think, are they going to thank me 20 years from now that we saved their life? Or are they going to be struggling with other things and maybe saying, I wish I had died? I mean, that's just laying it on the line.
Lou and nurses like her
That was the medical floor I worked on.
put their own lives on the line to save others.
When you're working in a combat zone, you have got to you've got to function, because if I fell apart, that could mean that somebody else lost their life because I wasn't doing my job.
More than 50 years later, Vietnam has never left Lou.
This is my boonie hat and my dog tags, encased in plastic so that they didn't clang together to let the enemy know I was near. And there I am reading Godfather.
One of her most prized possessions came before her tour, a Purple Heart from a wounded soldier.
I said, why are you giving me your Purple Heart? And he said, because you're headed to Vietnam now and you probably won't get any medals because women generally don't get medals. And he said, I'd like for you to have it because you'll earn it. And I tried to talk him out of it, and he said, no, I'll just leave it if you don't take it. So I accepted it, and I share it everywhere I go, and I make clear that I didn't receive this from the government. This was a gift from a patient. So I want people to know that.
Memories still so vivid.
This is the spiral notebook, my journal, and this was my short calendar where I started marking off all the days.
Documenting each day spent in Vietnam.
We got hit 0600 to 0700, Buku casualties all day, ground attack at 1:15. Good Lord, can't get any sleep here. Mascal at 7:30, off work at 11:25. Unbelievable day, record 99 patients, nearly all Vietnamese casualties. Worked till 11:20.
Lou saved lives and left Vietnam with hers. She got married, raised a family, then in 2002, tremors, the diagnosis, Parkinson's disease.
The day I was diagnosed, I said to the neurologist, why? I don't have a family history that I know of. And she said, well, because you don't, there's one other thing that we usually look at. And she said, that's herbicides and pesticides, spraying. And I said, oh, I'm guilty. I said, I have lots of veggies and flower beds. She said, Lou, no, we're talking big. I was playing on the computer and something popped up and said the VA will consider claims filed for people who have been diagnosed with Parkinson's as a result of exposure to Agent Orange. And that's when the light bulb went off.
Are you angry?
Yeah, I guess I've gotten, I'm angry. I'm angry not so much that I have Parkinson's, but that the whole war was screwed up and was not run like a war should be, and nobody did their homework who should have been doing their homework. And that's the part that makes me angry. That's partially why I keep speaking. I'm afraid, and not just women, I'm afraid that if we quit talking about it, like the Holocaust, it'll get swept under the rug. up until 3 or 4 years ago, I still had a couple GIs that said, I didn't think there were women in Vietnam.
7,000 served, 8 died.
Still ahead on Chronicle.
I can tell you, the opinion that soldiers have of nurses is guardian angels.
The life-saving work of the women who served and the lasting legacy of one who didn't make it home.
The family really didn't like to talk too much about it because it just brought up bad memories.